From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Good Thursday morning. Right now you're taking a live look at Kennewick. This view coming courtesy of Yakima Federal. You can see a little bit of haze sort of glistening there in some of the street lights, some of that ambiance out there, but the bulk of the fog this morning has been relegated down to the Blue Foothills as the bullseye's been in Pendleton. Elsewhere, visibility looking pretty good, and this could be some more freezing fog as the temperatures in the Blue Foothills are right around, if not a little bit below freezing. 29 in Walla Walla, 31 in Pendleton, technically a couple degrees above freezing in the Tri-Cities, but the rest of the viewing area hovering around that threshold as well. So I'm thinking a lot of us are going to have to break out the ice scraper for this morning, and all of us need to bundle up as you're headed out the front door. Here's the bottom line for the forecast. We'll have some breezes and winds picking up for today. That should put an end to lower elevation gloom, at least temporarily, and that's associated with the storm system that's going to bring some very modest snowfall totals up to the mountains. And then at the beginning of next week, maybe some of the coldest air of this season thus far. So I'll tell you just how cold coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, 2 storefronts and 3 businesses are damaged after a fire erupts in Grandview. What we know so far. But first, the Pasco School District is making changes to help make up for their budget deficit, and it's impacting the neighboring area. What they're cutting back on, we break all of it down. Also ahead, people celebrating as a historic ceasefire deal is agreed upon between Hamas and Israel. But we're learning overnight that complications are already happening. We have the latest developments on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal. It is Thursday, January 16th. We're going to start your top stories off in education news. The Pasco School District is facing economic challenges that are impacting neighboring districts. Therefore, PSD is planning to take a pause on big purchases as well as non-essential travel and food. Also, officials are thinking twice on filling open positions, and all of this is to help make up a $5.4 million budget gap. Our very own Dan Hansen is breaking it all down. Take a look.
We want to be proactive and thoughtful about our budget before the auditor tells us we have an issue.
Michelle Whitney, the superintendent of the Pasco School District, says cuts must be made to ensure roles in the district as well as student programs won't be reduced. In 2021, 4% of teachers were cut, whether it be from taking jobs elsewhere or retiring. 3 major issues around the state are affecting school budgets: student needs, special education, and inflation.
The state is giving us money, but our costs are escalating, and the cost escalation is outpacing the amount of money that we're getting.
According to WA School Funding, school districts across the country are grappling with budget shortages caused by the rising costs to materials and operations, higher insurance costs, higher wages, and lower enrollment.
There was a time where we were getting 600, 900, 700, 300 new kids every summer. That is not occurring. And I think that is a very important thing for all of us to start to wrap our head around. That in and of itself will require that we think about our budget very differently than we have in the past.
Whitney says when it comes down to it, the bottom line is the reason cuts need to be made is to make sure teachers keep their jobs. Pasco's enrollment is on budget for this school year. Pasco plans to fill the more than $5 million gap by maximizing grant money, go through the budget for efficiencies, and cut costs, including having more conservative staffing. PSD still plans on opening 2 new high schools next fall and will pay close attention to staffing needs. Dan Hansen, Apple Valley News Now.
Thank you, Dan. Now in fire news this morning, 2 storefronts are damaged and 3 nearby businesses are dealing with smoke and water damage after a fire erupts in Grandview. Now firefighters responded to it in the downtown area near the Chase Bank just before 6:30 on Wednesday morning. And according to the Grandview Deputy Fire Chief, it took several hours to put out the fire as there was a bit of a delay getting help.
the personnel to get people here to put the fire out. We are a combination department. Currently have 2 full-time staff members that work Monday through Friday, and then we rely heavily on our 38 volunteers and our mutual aid partners in the area to help extinguish fires like this. So that's just trying to get enough people here to mitigate the issue is our biggest problem.
Fire crews from Sunnyside, West Benton, Mabton, Zillah, Toppenish, Benton City, and Yakima County Fire District 5 all helped in putting out the fire. The cause is under investigation. And now in Wapato, where Yakima County District 5 firefighters had a busy day battling back-to-back fires while fighting a structure fire off of Shane Road, crews then responded to another fire off of Lavinia Lane. When crews got there, they say there was heavy smoke in a 2-story home, and the fire was in a utility room. Crews were able to quickly contain the fire with the help of more crews that had arrived. And thanks to working smoke detectors, everybody was able to get out safely. And it's a good reminder to check your smoke alarms regularly. Talking about community events now, the Richland Police Department is looking to hire more police officers. RPD held an in-person hiring event at their station last night. Commander Damon Jansen says the department is seeing a rise in employment as they've hired multiple people in the last year. But he also says they still have more positions that need to be filled. And these hiring clinics allow officers to answer questions in person.
We have been holding them every month over the past year, and we've been holding interviews for applicants every month last year. We'll see where we land with that this coming year, especially since our open positions are getting filled. But we've had some great candidates and some great hires over the past year.
Also at these monthly events, you can learn about all the different aspects of the job. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, the Supreme Court of the United States hearing arguments on a challenge to a law, one that would require visitors on pornography sites to go through an age verification process. We have the details coming up, but first our Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert will have your first alert weather forecast.
Ever feel like something's missing? Like there's a hole in your morning routine? Well, we've got just the thing. At Some Bagels, we make more than fresh bagels. We make a variety of baked goods to fill your day with everything you've been missing. Have your favorite coffee drink with our in-house roasted espresso beans. And enjoy your bagel with our flavored cream cheeses. Because at Some Bagels, the only thing better than the hole in the middle is everything around it. I want some, you want some, we want some. Gimme Some Bagels.
Swing into Fred's Appliance for our New Year, New Kitchen Super Sale and discover unbeatable deals on the largest selection of in-stock, get-it-today inventory in our region.
This spacious GE French door refrigerator is on sale now for $14.98.
With a large capacity of 27 cubic feet, easily store large or bulk food items with 3 full-width shelves.
At Fred's, it's appliances, only appliances.
At Fred's, we sell appliances, only appliances.
When uncertainty falls upon your freedom, you need an unwavering champion. We're dedicated to not just tipping the scales in your favor, but also delivering an unwavering and relentless defense. With over 5 decades of experience, we'll fiercely defend your freedom and secure the most favorable outcome. Your best defense, Quantum Legal.
I'm a real wild one.
Once in a while, we all want to go wild. We just need a little help. Meet a little help. The 2024 Ford Bronco Sport Wild Edition goes over any terrain, so you can go all out. Get a wild deal on a Bronco Sport today. Lease a 24 Bronco Sport 4x4 Wild Edition for just $299 a month for 36 months, only at your local Ford dealer.
It's that time again.
It's our annual year-end inventory closeout sale at Mattress Depot USA.
This is your best opportunity of the year to save hundreds on brand name mattress sets.
All remaining models from last year's inventory are on sale.
Here's your chance to get a comfortable, great night's sleep at up to 60% off.
Don't hesitate, or else you'll have to wait another year to take advantage of these incredible savings.
Low prices every day. Mattress Depot USA.
Texans, Chiefs, NFL Countdown starts at 11 Saturday morning on Apple Valley News Now. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It's another cold start out there, albeit a little bit warmer as opposed to yesterday morning, but I don't think that's much of a consolation prize as temperatures are in the 20s and 30s. So pretty much all of us in the Cascades and the Kittitas Valley probably going to need to break out the ice scraper for this morning, and it's probably going to be the same thing in the Yakima Valley, where we're sitting right at freezing, right at 32 degrees for Sunnyside and Toppenish and in Yakima. Then in the lower Columbia Basin, we're a little bit closer to freezing now in the Tri-Cities. Earlier this morning, we were at 34. Now we're down to 33. If we make it down to 32, we would be right at freezing, just like we are for Hermiston and Boardman. Then in the Blue Foothills, Heppner, really the aberration, 37 degrees, but the rest of us hovering right around 30 degrees. So a lot of us in this neck of the woods would also have to break out the ice scraper for this morning. I think all of us are going to need the heavy jacket. You need to bundle up. This morning, we'll start off a little gray for the valleys, for the basin, and for the foothills, but I'm thinking with the uptick in winds a little bit later in the day, that should really help us out. We should see a lot more sunshine for today, especially by midday and into the afternoon. Also, the wind's going to help us to warm up a little bit more, as we'll end up being a few degrees above average for this time of the year, but temperatures go way down for the end of this weekend into the beginning of next week. I'll tell you just how cold we could get coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Now this morning, more federal aid is headed to the California fire victims who desperately need it. FEMA says it's received 53,000 applications for its individual assistance program, which is a one-time payment to cover costs for things like water, food, and baby formula. FEMA is also activating a program that pays for hotel rooms, and State Farm is offering renewals even to some homeowners that had previously planned a drop. Crews are making progress in fighting the two biggest fires. The Palisades fire was 21% contained overnight, and the Eaton fire up to 45% contained. The cause of each fire remains under investigation, but authorities say more than 150 leads have been generated from tips. Many elementary school students that were impacted by the fires are now back in class, but at other schools around the LA area. Additionally, dozens of restaurants are offering free meals to evacuees and firefighters. And also this morning, the Supreme Court is signaling that it's ready to roll back First Amendment protection for internet pornography. Yesterday, justices heard a challenge to a Texas law, one that would require visitors on porn sites to go through an age verification process to prove they're 18 or older. That process would include a government-issued ID and a facial scan, and that's among other verification methods. Those opposed say the law violates the First Amendment because it, quote, unfairly burdens adults' access to the protected content. Many of the justices appear to suggest it's worth the risk to protect kids. Supporters of the Texas law also addressed concern that age verification measures threaten privacy and could expose people's personal information to hackers. 18 other states have passed similar laws, and the court's ruling on this is expected by summer. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, people were seen celebrating as Hamas and Israel reached a ceasefire deal, but complications to the said ceasefire deal are rising overnight. We have the latest developments and your full forecast in just a few minutes.
Lather, rinse, repeat. It never feels like enough. It's not your products, it's your water. Culligan water softeners prevent damaging hard water buildup, revitalizing your hair and skin. Upgrade your routine with Culligan.
Find your next way to escape. Go where the adventure awaits you in the heart of Washington State. Kittitas County is a land of 1,000 journeys. No matter what your heart desires, you can find it waiting for you in the outdoors of Central Washington. See all that you can see, and more will be just around the corner. Whether you're in Central Washington for one of our area's many local events, an historical expedition, a shopping spree, to enjoy a weekend of wine tasting, or just for a night's rest on your way to another destination, there are great Central Washington stays standing by to welcome you. And if a great brew is one of those things that's calling, Kittitas County is the place to be. Award-winning breweries with local flavors for every palate and a story behind every pour. Adventure awaits you all year long. To begin your experience, visit centralwashingtonoutdoor.com. Adventures, activities, dining, lodging, and more. It's all just around the corner in Central Washington.
Did you know that maintaining your oral hygiene not only ensures your teeth and gums are in good health, but also ensures that you are free from disease-causing bacteria?
These same bacteria are found in blood clots of people who have recently suffered heart attacks. Biomarkers from these oral bacteria can be found in up to 50% of the clots taken from these victims. Now more than ever, oral health is directly related to your overall health.
Trust the team of experts at Avanta Dental. Our friendly team is ready to help you have a brighter, healthier future.
It's going to be a dogfight in Winnipeg. The Kraken go head-to-head with the high-flying Jets. Can the boys end the road trip with a win? Kraken, Jets, pregame at 4:30 p.m. today on Apple Valley News Now.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child swallowed household cleaner, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first to speak with medical professionals who can give you free personal advice anytime. Save the number, save a life.
Operation Best Friend, sponsored by the Manthei Group Cross Country Mortgage.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Today is going to be milder as opposed to what we have been seeing, but will only be a few degrees above average for this time of the year. We should end up making it into the 40s, and I'm thinking that a lot of the fog and the clouds that we have for lower elevations for this morning should clear up into midday and into the afternoon because of this. The winds really picking up for today, gusting between 20 to 40 miles per hour outside of the Yakima Valley, the fastest wind gust being in the Kittitas Valley, and that main time frame would be from 10 this morning to 10 p.m. this evening. Now let's take a look at some of the precip chances that we'll have for today. You can see it's going to be a dry day for lower elevations and for the Blues, but we'll have little chances of snow showers after lunchtime up in the Cascades. And then for tonight, overnight lows falling back down into the 20s across the board. So once again, all of us are going to have to protect the outdoor pets, the plants, and the plumbing. The wind should be calmer after midnight, although we could have some lingering breezes, especially in the Kittitas Valley. And then in terms of precip chances for tonight, we could see some snowfall, sliding back down into the Blues between 4 to 7 p.m. So we'll continue to have overall small chances of snowfall up in the mountains throughout the night. And then after midnight, we could even see a low-end chance of some rain, maybe even some patchy freezing rain for the Blue Foothills. But all in all, we're not going to see much rain or snowfall from this storm system. We're not going to see much of any of that over the next 7 days. So this is going to be a dry forecast period. Also, this is going to be a pretty cold forecast period, especially into the beginning of the next work week. We could struggle to make it above freezing in the Tri-Cities for both Monday and Tuesday. So the coldest of the cold of this cold snap going to be for the mornings of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, as lows could make it all the way down to 5 degrees in the Blues, down to 10 degrees in the Cascades, down to around 15 degrees in the Valleys, Basin, and Foothills. So start making that plan right now to protect outdoor pets, plants, plumbing, and people. Here is the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Highs in the upper 30s for Saturday and Sunday, but struggling to make it out of the low 30s for Monday and Tuesday. In Yakima, lows in the low 20s for Saturday morning, and that'll actually be the warmest morning from Saturday through Wednesday. In Ellensburg, hovering around freezing for Saturday and Sunday, and then it'll be a tough journey to make it out of the 20s on Monday. In Hermiston, high shy of 40 for this weekend, and then they'll have a hard time making it above freezing on Monday and Tuesday. And then for Walla Walla, low to mid 30s this weekend, with lows possibly slipping down into the mid-teens by Monday morning.
Thank you, Josh. Around the world now, we're diving into the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Some of the hostages could be released this weekend, but overnight we're learning that details are still being finalized. President Biden, who helped broker the deal, gave his farewell address last night, and Biden also saying that President-elect Donald Trump helped with negotiations. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has more.
Jubilation in the streets of Gaza after an apparent ceasefire deal between Hamas and Israel. But overnight, Israel already claiming Hamas has reneged on parts of the deal. The Netanyahu government demanding more details on the release of Palestinian prisoners before finalizing the deal.
We are so hopeful and optimistic. We need to remember this has to be rolled out until the very end. So there can't be true celebration until everyone is where they're supposed to be.
The deal is split into 3 phases. The first involves a 6-week pause in fighting, along with the opening of negotiations on ending the war altogether. Over those 6 weeks, 33 of the nearly 100 hostages held by Hamas would be released, including 2 Americans.
I'm happy that they actually managed to pass it over the finish line. I hope the nightmare is over.
Palestinian prisoners would also be released. This second phase involves the release of all remaining living hostages, and Israeli forces would withdraw from Gaza. The third phase would initiate reconstruction of Gaza. The deal, on the table for months, was brokered by leaders from across the Middle East, along with President Biden's team and the incoming Trump administration. Trump recently pledged all hell would break out if Hamas didn't promise to release hostages by the time he takes office.
The question is, what has changed and what has the Trump team told the different countries involved that made them actually bring this about?
Our fellow Americans.
President Biden hailing the deal last night during his farewell address to the nation.
The Israeli cabinet was set to meet today to approve the deal, with the ceasefire scheduled to take effect on Sunday. But overnight, Netanyahu saying the cabinet will not meet until Hamas has agreed to the last-minute concessions. Now, this is a developing story, so we'll keep you updated once we know more. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, rapper Drake is suing his record label for alleged defamation. We have the details on why coming up in your entertainment news.
When it comes to what's best in a mattress,
Big ol' springs,
memory foam, foam. Denver Mattress says, why not both? Introducing the Doctor's Choice Hybrid with the cooling full body comfort of gel memory foam and individually wrapped coils featuring Boss technology. All packed in this easy to manage box. Choose from the luxury firm, Plush, and Eurotop. And rest easy knowing it's backed by our 365-night better sleep guarantee. The Doctor's Choice Hybrid, exclusively at Denver Mattress.
Kick off the new year with a great deal from Overturf Kia. The new 2025 Kia Sportage gives you 3 great ways to save fuel. Available with a fuel-efficient gas engine, a gas-electric hybrid, or as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. A new 2025 Kia Sportage LX Hybrid with all-wheel drive starts at just $32,335. Plus, get 5.99% interest for 72 months. Overturf Kia in Kennewick.
Alice's birthday is coming up. We're in this comfy room in Triple Play Hotel so we can make plans without her hearing.
So we need a huge cake, a giant salad, and a good-sized mariachi band. Hold on a second. Does it seem a little dark in here for 2 p.m.?
Sorry, guys. Where I'm from, they didn't do birthdays. It's very exciting.
Triple Play has fun attractions for everyone, including bowling, a ropes course, and many more, all attached to a cozy hotel.
Here comes the 31st annual Tri-City Sportsman Show, January 24th, 25th, and 26th at the Hapo Center in Pasco. Come see Masai, the famous African lion. Check out the hourly hunting and fishing seminars. Kids can fish at Lunker Lake. See the trophies of the Northwest Big Game Display. 2 buildings full of exhibitors, boats, RVs, pickups, ATVs, and more. It's the Tri-City Sportsman Show, January 24th through 26th in Pasco. Don't miss it.
No one expects to get in a car wreck, but that's exactly what happened last summer. The drunk driver crossed over the center line, crashing into us and causing life-threatening injuries. It was difficult to focus on healing while facing overwhelming medical bills and lost wages. How will our bills get paid? When can I go back to work? So much was running through my head. Abeta Nelson's team did the work to make sure we didn't have to worry.
Abeta Nelson. We focus on you. You focus on healing.
The 3-Degree Guarantee, sponsored by Legends Casino Hotel.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for your entertainment news this morning. So pop superstar Taylor Swift is making waves, as she always does, but specifically this time in Westerly, Rhode Island.
And no, she's not shredding waves on the coast. This time it's not for chart-topping hits, but for the makeover of her iconic beachfront mansion.
Well, the sprawling property in the coastal neighborhood of Watch Hill is undergoing extensive renovations. Building permits reveal that the updates will include a transformation of the kitchen and living room, as well as a refreshed design for the front porch.
But that's not all. A new bedroom and new bathrooms are also being added.
You would wonder if she spends a lot of time in her mansions, because she's always touring, she's always doing something.
I would spend,
and then she's probably got several.
I would spend every day, and what we're looking at on our screen is beautiful.
Well, the estimated price tag for the upgrades is a jaw-dropping $1.7 million, and that is chump change for Taylor Swift.
That's like a day's earning for her.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now we move on to rapper Drake, my favorite. He is suing his record label for alleged defamation.
The suit involves the publishing and promotion of rival Kendrick Lamar's hit, Not Like Us. They Not Like Us.
The Canadian musician and actor is seeking compensatory and punitive damages from the label. That's according to the lawsuit that he filed yesterday.
The complaint accuses UMG of launching a campaign to make, quote, a viral hit out of a rap track that falsely accuses Drake of being a pedophile and calls for violent retribution against him.
Drake and Lamar are represented by separate divisions of UMG. Lamar is not named as a defendant in the lawsuit.
A spokesperson for UMG denies the claims in the lawsuit and said it does not engage in defamation.
And up next on Good Morning Northwest at 6:30, Mountain City Council's meeting on Tuesday had fewer people in the room than usual, so many missed a message from the new police chief.
What it is in your next half hour.
So what do you think about these?
We're going to take everything.
From design and products to removal and installation, Rebath is with you through every step of your remodel. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,000 off your complete bathroom remodel.
Ever feel like something's missing? Like there's a hole in your morning routine? Well, we've got just the thing. At Some Bagels, we make more than fresh bagels. We make a variety of baked goods to fill your day with everything you've been missing. Have your favorite coffee drink with our in-house roasted espresso beans. And enjoy your bagel with our flavored cream cheeses. Because at Some Bagels, the only thing better than the hole in the middle is everything around it. I want some, you want some, we want some. Gimme Some Bagels.
We're Sell My House Fast, and we've been buying unwanted houses for cash, fast, for 25 years. We'll buy this house, and this one, even this one, not that one. If you're relocating, inheriting a home you don't want, if you're behind on taxes and want to avoid foreclosure, going through a divorce, or if you just need cash to get out of debt, we will buy your house at a fair cash price. We've got hundreds of Google 5-star reviews because our offers are fair and the process transparent. Call now.
1-800-219-0560.
Meet the Moore family. They switched from cable internet to Ziply Fiber and got so much more. Mr. Moore got more upload speed for next level gaming and live streaming to the masses. Mason Moore got even more done for his sneaker business, quickly uploading HD product demos and video conferencing without freezing.
Brad, you're on mute.
And now that her family doesn't need her for tech support, Mrs. Moore has more time to stream games into overtime.
Let's go!
Get more of what you love by switching to Ziply Fiber for $65 less per month than cable at ziplyfiber.com.
Kittitas Valley Healthcare is your trusted home for health, offering expert orthopedic care for your family. With over 55 years of combined experience, our team uses state-of-the-art equipment to improve surgical outcomes and provide compassionate, patient-centered care. We're committed to making your experience comfortable and efficient so you can stay active and healthy. Learn more and schedule a consultation through our website at kvhealthcare.org. Your home for health.
Kick off the new year with a great deal from Overturf Volkswagen. Save $5,000 off every new 2024 Volkswagen Atlas and Atlas Crossport on the lot. Or get 1.9% interest for up to 60 months. Shop online anytime at overturfvw.com. Overturf Volkswagen at the base of the Blue Bridge in Kennewick.
Should we take a look at? What do you think?
So here,
From design and products to removal and installation, Rebath is with you through every step of your remodel. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $500 off your tub or shower remodel.
The Kraken is in Winnipeg to battle the Jets today at 4:30. Apple Valley News Now. This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
All right, Josh, you have been killing it with these 3-degree guarantee predictions, and you did it again, didn't you?
Call me Butter, because I'm on a roll.
Hey, Butter.
Boo.
I've never heard that before.
It was dumb. It was dumb. I'm sorry. Let's just go ahead and move on. Yeah, so yesterday I went with a forecast high of 38 in Pasco, and the actual high verified at 35 degrees. So just by the hair of my chinny chin chin, the forecast did verify, so that means that the jackpot went up to $450. So for today, I'm going with a forecast high of 45 degrees in Pasco. So if the actual high verifies between 42 to 48, the jackpot's going to go up again, up to $475. But if my forecast goes bust, and it might because the winds are going to be picking up for today, that can make the high temperature forecast pretty difficult, and there's fog involved as well. So all that to say, if my forecast does go bust, the jackpot could be yours. Find out how to win all $450 by going to applevalleyNewsNow.com, click on the contest page, or you could scan the QR code that is currently on your screen. All right, now you're taking a live look at Kennewick. This view coming courtesy of Yakima Federal. Not really seeing any fog here in the Tri-Cities for this morning. Ground zero for the fog all morning has been Pendleton. So it's the Blue Foothills where we're seeing the thickest of the thick fog, and also it's probably some freezing fog as well, as these temperatures in the Blue Foothills below freezing, technically 1 degree below freezing in Pendleton, 2 degrees below freezing in Walla Walla, hovering right around that threshold in the lower Columbia Basin. The same thing for the Kittitas and Yakima Valleys. So across the board, I'm thinking a lot of us are going to need the ice scraper for this morning, and all of us are going to need to bundle up. And me personally, well, obviously I'm going with the heavy jacket for this morning, but I'm going to hold on to the heavy jacket throughout the rest of the day in the Tri-Cities. So for today, will be a few degrees above average for this time of the year. Winds picking up. That means that the gray conditions for lower elevation should clear out for the most part, but to touch on that a little bit more, I'll take you on that zone by zone tour of today's forecast. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Now, after 6 months of tumultuous meetings, the Mountain City Council got a break on Tuesday night with fewer people in the crowd. And our Emily Goodell tells us the meeting's more frequent visitors missed a message from the new police chief.
At the end of the meeting, the new police chief got up to say a few words, including emphasizing the importance of staying calm during meetings.
You don't have the right to put me in a council meeting. That's a lawsuit.
You don't tell me you, Maria. She don't give a shit about this city.
The chief warning that misbehaving during council meetings could get a person charged with criminal contempt.
Disorderly, contemptuous, or insolent behavior committed during the sitting of the court or city council in its immediate view and presence and directly tending to interrupt its proceedings or to impair the respect due to its authority.
The city ordinance passed in 1984 applies to every person and also prohibits
breach of the peace, noise, or other disturbance directly tending to interrupt proceedings.
Criminal contempt, a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail and up to $1,000 fine.
I know the public gets a little heated sometimes, but this is still a city council meeting, and that's our city ordinance. And I think it just needs to be read out loud. I think we just need a new fresh start in 2025.
The year starting off with a $3,000 raise for the new chief, who passed a background check last week.
From $77,000 to $80,000.
But with 2 council members absent, the council postponing the vote for this year's mayor pro tem and the chief's public swearing-in ceremony.
I agree with the chief. We're a new year. We need a fresh new start.
Unlike last year, Mobton is starting off with a budget, but questions remain over the city's finances.
Mayor Ruelas, I was just wondering if you would like to speak with me. Oh, no. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Washington Supreme Court hasn't yet announced their decision on whether or not the first recall petition against Mayor Ruelas will be allowed to move forward. Reporting from the Yakima newsroom, Emily Goodell, Apple Valley News Now.
Thank you, Emily. Now, the Sela Downtown Association is accepting applications for its annual Facade Improvement Grant Program. It offers up to $10,000 per business, and it's matched by the association, giving them a total of $20,000. And this is for any improvements they want to make to windows, roofing, painting, signage, and there's much more. Now, the deadline to apply is February 28th. And the goal for this program is to beautify the downtown area and make it more attractive to shoppers.
When you take care of your building, other people recognize, hey, they're taking care of this. I'm not going to tag it. It's a business that's actually open. So all of those things make a big deal in our downtown.
The association also plans to install an 18 by 4 foot zip code art piece and new garbage can covers that are made from wine barrels. And now to a reminder, we are just a few months away from the Real ID Act, which is still set to take effect nationwide May 7th. What this means is that after this date, you'll need a Real ID compliant driver's license or ID card to board domestic flights and or enter restricted federal facilities. The Washington State Department of Licensing has started a new advertising campaign to help remind people about it. Take a look.
The Real ID Act may be confusing, and we're here to help. Washingtonians should know that no one is required to get a new ID, but a Real ID compliant document, like a passport or green card, is required to fly in the U.S. and access some federal facilities.
Another thing to note, your standard driver's license or standard ID card will still be valid after May in both Washington and Oregon. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, Bob Ferguson has officially been sworn in as Washington's new governor. And coming up, we have the plans that he laid out in his agenda. Stay with us.
The 3-Degree Guarantee, sponsored by Legends Casino Hotel.
At McCurley Subaru, your way home starts with the adventure-ready 2025 Subaru Forester with all-new styling from the ground up. Built for life in the Tri-Cities and wherever the road takes you, the Forester is perfect for everything, from quick trips to the farmer's market to weekend escapes into the mountains. Its all-wheel drive and generous ground clearance tackle every twist and turn, while the spacious interior has room for family, friends, and all your gear. Save on a new Subaru Forester today from McCurley Subaru.
What are you up to, Alice?
Oh, the nice mechanic asked me to check the pulleys.
Wow, I just realized you can see things we can't. I've always wondered what's in those small windows.
It's marketing.
So that's where they hide out.
Triple Play has fun attractions for everyone, including bowling, a ropes course, and many more, all attached to a cozy hotel.
What does dino casting call mean?
That seems bad.
I'll get my resume ready.
At Bruce Heating and Air, your comfort is our business. With over 30 years of professional HVAC experience for residential and commercial properties, you can rest assured your heating and air system is in good hands. In addition to providing quality heating, air conditioning, ventilation, and installation services, Bruce Heating and Air also houses a full-service sheet metal fabrication shop.
Now through March 31st, receive rebates up to $1,300 off, plus a free thermostat on a new Daikin Fit system when you finance through Bruce Heating and Air. Terms and conditions apply. See deal for details.
Good Shepherd provides the most up-to-date orthopedic care available. Our team of experienced board-certified surgeons, physiatrists, and podiatrists are capable of fulfilling your orthopedic needs. Services include precise joint replacements, sports medicine, all orthoscopic shoulder and knee repairs, fracture care, hand surgery, and foot and ankle care. We are here to help you with your pain and maximize your body's performance and function. Good Shepherd Orthopedics in Hermiston. Patients first, always.
Tonight, Extreme Makeover Home Edition is back for an emotional and inspiring journey.
My girls don't have a dad.
Elisa's trying to grieve. The girls need a fresh start.
This is your home. 1, 2, 3. Open your eyes.
New Extreme Makeover Home Edition, tonight on ABC and stream on Hulu.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Here is your ski report brought to you by Schweitzer Village, and we're going to start off at Schweitzer proper. There hasn't been any new snow over the past 24 hours. The base depth still at 64 inches, and then we'll take it down to Ski Bluewood, where we also haven't seen any new snow over the past 24 hours. Base depth is at 50 inches, and then for White Pass, also no new snow over the past 24 hours. This base depth up to 60 inches. Now let's take you on that zone-by-zone tour of today's forecast. We're going to start off in Kittitas County. These highs today spanning from the mid-30s to the mid-40s. We should see the clouds clearing out a little bit later in the day, especially around midday as the winds start to pick up out of the north and west, gusting upwards of 30 miles per hour in the Cascades, upwards of 40 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley. Then in the Yakima Valley, I'm thinking the winds will be certainly a lot lighter as opposed to the Kittitas Valley, but we could have enough atmospheric movement, enough mixing to clear out some of the lower elevation clouds. So we'll end up being partly cloudy at the very least towards the end of the day. Then in the lower Columbia Basin, starting off a little foggy, although most of the fog has been confined to Pendleton, but that gloom, those clouds for this morning should start to clear up around midday, and after that, once again, due to the breezes gusting out of the west and southwest upwards of 25 miles per hour, and it's going to be the same plot line for the Blue Foothills. Look at these highs today, maybe touching 50 for Pilot Rock and Heppner. This is going to seem very warm compared to some of the highs that we have slated into the end of the weekend, into the beginning of next week. I'll tell you just how cold we could get coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. And Washington now has a new governor as Bob Ferguson was sworn into office yesterday. Ferguson is the state's first new governor in 12 years. After taking the oath of office, he delivered a speech that did not shy away from the state's failures in recent years.
Thank you very much, everybody. Mr. President, Madam Speaker, distinguished guests, and my fellow Washingtonians. And while my mom and dad are not here, my family is very well represented. In fact, most of the gallery on my left is family.
His agenda will focus on the large budget deficit, also public safety and school funding. To address public safety needs, he's backing a $100 million proposal to help police departments recruit more officers. And regarding the state's budget deficit, he's calling for a 6% across-the-board spending cut from Washington state agencies on his first day in office. It's a move that'll save $4.4 billion. To see more about this, visit our website, applevalleynewsnow.com. Up next, a common dye in food has been banned from the country. It's known as Red 3, and we have what this ingredient is commonly in and more of your top stories coming up in your morning sprint. But first, our Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth will have your full weather forecast.
More epic than a stampede of beach stallions. More epic than a buttery tail whip. More epic than Emma keeping her mitts off the fresh muffins. It's the epic sell-off at Denver Mattress, and that means everything is on sale. Like the Summit Eurotop for only $379.99, and check out the Buena Vista Firm, now only $474.99. Get a $300 gift when you purchase any Tempur-Pedic. Or get 60 months no interest financing and free shipping. Shop the epic sell-off today, only at Denver Mattress.
It's not what you park in your driveway that makes it home. At McCurley, we understand that. And that's why we go beyond the transaction to provide a complete ownership experience. Because it's the people, the experiences, and the memories awaiting you that make it home. And your vehicle is how you get there. Drive home in a new Mercedes-Benz GLC 300 for only $519 a month.
I felt like there was just no answers to get out of the anxiety and the depression that I had.
I was suicidal all the time.
thinking about it nonstop, every day, every moment.
Depression and anxiety rob millions of us of our day-to-day lives, but nothing seems to pull you out of it. Introducing Neurostim TMS, Washington's leading provider of transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS therapy. At Neurostim TMS, we treat the root of the problem with a series of short daily treatments. Using a non-invasive magnetic field, TMS activates the natural function of the brain's neurotransmitters to improve mood and regulate emotion. TMS is not shock therapy. It's an FDA-approved, easy outpatient experience and covered by all major medical insurances.
There's nothing better than just being able to enjoy life again.
The treatment just completely, fundamentally changed my life.
Visit neurostimtms.com today or call to schedule your free consultation at any of our 12 Washington state locations.
Smoke City for Less is your one-stop shop in Kennewick, Richland, West Richland, Hermiston, Road 68 in Pasco, and at the new location on West Court Street in Pasco. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. at all 6 locations. Get the lowest prices on the largest selection of vape mods, classic to tropical vape flavors, batteries, cigars, tobacco products, kratom, and specialty products too. Don't waste time in other places. Go to Smoke City for Less. We smoke the competition.
I'm a real wild one. Life is wild. There's work to be done, adventure around every corner, and a truck that handles it all. The new 2024 Ford F-150 Wild Edition. It's rugged, loaded with tech, and built to go wild. Get a wild deal on an F-150 today. Lease a 24 F-150 STX 4x4 Wild Edition for just $399 a month for 36 months. Only at your local Ford dealer.
The 3 Degree Guarantee, sponsored by Legends Casino Hotel.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Today is going to be a milder day as opposed to what we've been seeing, and definitely this is going to be much milder as opposed to what we're going to see towards the end of the weekend and towards the beginning of next week. So we'll end up being in the 40s. We'll be a few degrees above average for this time of the year. I think one of the biggest impacts from today's forecast is going to be the winds gusting between 20 to 40 miles per hour. Some of the fastest wind gusts being in the Kittitas Valley. That peak time frame being from 10 this morning to 10 late this evening. And the winds are going to help to clear out a lot of that low elevation gloom, the gray conditions, the clouds, and so we should see a decent amount of sunshine into midday and after that. Here's some of the precip chances that we'll have for today. And as you can see, Thursday should be a dry day for lower elevations in the Blues, but we can't rule out some snow showers for the Cascades after lunchtime. Then for tonight, it's going to be a cold one once again. Overnight lows down into the 20s across the board, so all of us are going to have to protect the outdoor pets, the plants, and the plumbing. The wind should be much calmer, especially after midnight, but we could have some breezes lingering in the Kittitas Valley in particular. Here's some of the precip chances for tonight, and we're thinking small snow chances could spread into the Blues between 4 to 7 p.m. and will continue for the Cascades as well. A sprinkler or two could even make it down to the Blue foothills by the overnight hours, and we can't rule out a brief time frame for freezing rain into Friday morning, but overall, we're not expecting that much rain or snowfall from this storm system. In fact, we're not expecting much of any of that over the next 7 days. So this is going to be a pretty dry forecast. Also, this is going to be a pretty cold forecast. We could end up being about 5 to 10 degrees below average for Monday and Tuesday. So in essence, struggling to make it above freezing in the Tri-Cities for Monday and Tuesday. And the coldest of the cold of this cold snap going to be the mornings of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, as the lowest of the lows could be down to around 5 degrees in the Blues, 10 degrees for the Cascades, down to around 15 degrees for the valleys, basin, and foothills. So start making that plan to protect the outdoor pets, plants, the plumbing, and the people. Here's a 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Highs in the upper 30s for Saturday and Sunday, but struggling to make it out of the low 30s for Monday and Tuesday. In Yakima, lows in the low 20s for Saturday morning, and that'll actually be the warmest morning from Saturday through Wednesday. In Ellensburg, hovering around freezing for Saturday and Sunday, and then it'll be a tough journey to even make it out of the 20s on Monday. For Hermiston, high shy 40 this weekend, then they'll have a hard time making it above freezing on Monday and Tuesday. Then for Walla Walla, low to mid 30s this weekend, with lows possibly slipping down into the mid-teens by Monday morning. Now let's head out to New York City to see what's ahead on Good Morning America.
In this morning's GMA First Look, one of the biggest songs of the summer.
They not like us.
Now the center of an unprecedented lawsuit from the rapper on the receiving end of his lyrical jabs, fellow music superstar Drake. Drake now suing Universal Music Group, where Kendrick is also his label mate, alleging that UMG knowingly approved, published, and launched a campaign to create a viral hit out of a rap track, which was intended to convey the specific, unmistakable, and false factual allegation that Drake is a criminal pedophile. UMG firing back, calling the claims illogical.
This is unprecedented when it comes to a rap beef being settled in the courtroom.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll tell you what this could mean for Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show. Plus, legal expert Dan Abrams weighs in live. With your GMA First Look, I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that sore throat. Vapor-Cool drops? It's sore throat relief with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks Vapor-Cool drops.
We're in a volcano to test Finish Ultimate against tough burnt-on stains. Finish Ultimate breaks them down, cuts grease, and boosts shine for the ultimate clean, even on the toughest stains.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time is now 6:50. It's time for your morning sprint. We're going to start off with your national headlines. President Joe Biden gave his farewell address last night, and in the face of low approval ratings, Biden touted his record as president, pointing to major legislation that tackled gun reform and infrastructure. He also warned the country about his concerns for the future, urging Americans to protect democracy and its institutions. And more than 40 people are killed in Gaza City just hours after the ceasefire agreement was reached between Hamas and Israel. The Israeli cabinet was set to meet today to ratify the deal, but overnight, Netanyahu blaming Hamas for a last-minute crisis and saying the cabinet will not meet until Hamas has agreed to some last-minute concessions. The ceasefire deal is split into 3 phases, with the first phase involving a 6-week pause in fighting, and over that time, 33 of nearly 100 hostages held by Hamas would be released, and that includes 2 Americans. In your business news, U.S. oil prices are continuing to climb, and it's having an effect on your gas tank. The national average for a gallon of gas was $3.09 yesterday. That's according to AAA, and that's a 7-cent hike compared to last month. Among the factors causing energy to be more expensive include last week when President Biden imposed strict sanctions on Russia's oil industry. Facebook parent company Meta confirms it's planning to cut about 5% of what it calls its lowest performers, with no plans to fill those roles later. This could affect about 3,600 workers, and the announcement comes during a period of changes, which include ending Meta's third-party fact-checking programs, also its DEI programs. Critics say these new policies are being used to find favor with the Trump administration. In the fabrics and crafts store, Joann has filed for bankruptcy for the second time within a year. The 82-year-old retailer says sluggish sales and inventory issues have forced it to file for Chapter 11 once again. It filed for bankruptcy in March of last year and emerged a month later as a private company, keeping all of its stores open. And Joann is now seeking to sell most of its assets, and Joann's stores and website remains open for now. In health headlines, the dye called Red 3 has been banned from the country's food supply, and that's because of its potential cancer risk. FDA officials were granted a 2022 petition filed by 24 food safety and health advocates. It's commonly in some candies, snack cakes, and maraschino cherries, and the agency says it was taking the action as a matter of law because some studies have found the dye caused cancer in lab rats. Changes could be coming to tobacco products. The FDA has proposed a limit on nicotine levels in items like cigarettes and cigars. Previous studies have shown lower amounts of nicotine can help people smoke less and in some cases quit altogether. The proposal calls for capping nicotine to 0.7 milligrams per gram, and comments from the public can be made over the next few months, although the finalization process for this rule could take years to complete. Now we look at your top 5 local stories that you need to know this morning. First up, Pasco police are looking for a man they say is dangerous. Victor Amezcua Garcia, also known as Lil Minor, is wanted for armed robbery, kidnapping, and assault. If you see him, do not approach him. Simply call 911. Also, you are able to leave an anonymous tip. The Pasco School District is facing economic challenges, so they're putting a hold on big purchases and non-essential travel and food. They're also thinking twice about filling open positions, and this is all to make up a $5.4 million budget gap. To see more details on this, visit our website. Bob Ferguson was sworn into office as Washington's new governor yesterday. He's the state's first new governor in 12 years. He said his agenda will focus on the large budget deficit, public safety, and school funding. And he's backing a $100 million proposal to help police departments recruit more officers, and is calling for a 6% spending cut on state agencies in his first day in office. And reminder, we are a few months away from the Real ID Act that's still set to take effect nationwide May 7th. That means you'll need a Real ID compliant driver's license or ID card to board domestic flights and enter restricted federal facilities. Another thing to note, your standard driver's license or standard ID will still be valid after May in both Washington and Oregon. The Sela Downtown Association is accepting applications for its annual facade improvement grant program. It offers up to $10,000 per business, which will be matched by the association, giving them a total of $20,000 to make improvements to anything like windows, roofing, painting, signage, and more. And the deadline to apply is February 28th. All right, trending this morning, Coors Light has a new name, well, sort of.
The beer company announces that it's temporarily changing its name to Monday's Light.
Monday's Light doesn't really roll off the tongue. Well, since the last Monday night football game was played this week, Molson Coors, the beer's parent company, says the new name is an attempt to, quote, bring chill to one of the worst Mondays of the year.
Coors Light attracted attention on Monday when a series of ads had misspelled words.
One of those ads misspelled refreshment as refreshment. I hate when that happens.
I love a good refreshment. Well, in a statement addressing the alleged errors, Coors Light blamed it on a case of the Mondays.
Molson Coors is hoping the Monday's Light packaging spurs some renewed interest.
You can find Monday's Light at retailers nationwide this month for a limited time.
And speaking of refreshments, you know, you get a whiff of it when you walk outside because it's so cold, it just wakes you up.
Yes, it's like an immediate alarm clock, and I guess it's refreshing in a way.
Refreshing.
Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll take a look at visibility for this morning. It's mainly just been a problem for Pendleton. So there in the Blue Foothills, you can see visibility now all the way down to nothing in Pendleton. So that would be not just your run-of-the-mill fog, but it would be freezing fog as we're below freezing in the Blue Foothills. We're right around freezing in the Lower Columbia Basin, and we're also right around that freezing threshold in the valley. So a lot of us are going to have to break out the ice scraper for this morning. All of us are going to need to bundle up. A little bit later today should be a bit milder, a few degrees above average for this time of the year with highs in the 40s. That'll be thanks to winds that'll clear out some of that gloom. We'll have a little bit more sunshine. We'll have some very small chances for mountain snow. We're not expecting that much snow in terms of accumulating snow. And then we have some of the coldest air of the season thus far to start off next week. Look at some of these overnight lows we could have down to 5 degrees for the Blues, down to 10 degrees for the Cascades, and a nice toasty 15 degrees for the valleys, basin, and foothills.
I am trying to brace myself for that 15 degrees. Not looking forward to that.
No, that's refreshing.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, thank you guys for watching Good Morning Northwest. You can always find updates on our website. That's AppleValleyNewsNow.com.
Good Morning America is up next, and we'll be back with your local news and weather tonight at 5. Have a great day.
Refreshing day.